Vintage Magnus game.
Yep. Vintage Magnus game. Vintage Magnus hoodie. He likes to be all snuggled up when he's winning himself some chess games. You know, get him his blankie. He already took a bite of his banana. We're back to that Nimzo. By the way, proving A4 was a mouse slip. We see A3. If you're just tuning in, Magnus played A4 in that position in game 1, which we speculated was a mouse slip, of course.
Yeah, and we're going to have to confirm it with him in the interview, of course, assuming that we interview him. Can't make any assumptions. It's still plenty of chess left to be played, but he has gone full circle here in the final game in the 5-minute portion.
Full circle back to 1d4, which is what he played in game 1. The scoreboard slightly more dominant than it was in game 1. A 6-game lead for the world champion.
And a 6-game winning streak.
6-game winning streak. It was tied 1-1. It was tied 1-1.
It's crazy how this is all unfolded. And adoption is on the table if Magnus can win this one.
We don't like to use that word around here. As a guy who's been adopted more times than he'd like to admit.
Hey, I've been adopted, so more times than I'd like to admit.
I was talking about real life, but that's why I'm in therapy. You know, lots of bouncing around for this guy. Different discussion. But okay, also on the chessboard.
Making me all emotional.
All right.
I could give you a hug.
It's okay. Later. We'll virtual hug it out. A Nimzo here for black. I like Gukesh's position. I know that the edge for white is there on the eval bar, but these positions are playable for black. You got to get bishop b7 in before white starts pushing e4. Oh, wait, it's white to move here. Wait.
It is white to move, and e4 is a possibility.
E4 is a possibility.
But okay, bishop b7 in the attack center.
Okay.
No, white is better here. White is clearly better.
I was looking at the position thinking black plays bishop b7, and it's all good. I played these Nimzo positions, but no. It was white to move.
I don't get why white has gotten this move in. I actually think queen c7 is a very serious mistake by Gukesh. You have to go bishop b7 here and at least make it hard for white to go e4. And I wouldn't say that this is tilt, but I just feel like Gukesh, he's dejected and he's giving Magnus everything he wants out of the opening in every game.
I agree. And it's funny. Everyone can see that, like, the way that whole thing went down in real time was like very revealing of what's happened. Like, I was just assuming, because you have to get bishop b7 in those positions. You have to stop e4. Queen c7 was a mistake. Tilt is the strong word to use, but it's probably a very real thing here. And this is a great position for white. This is what you don't want as a Nimzo, which is the position starts to open up. What are you giving up in the Nimzo, everyone? The bishop pair, meaning that dark square bishop is literally, this is not a paper tiger. This is a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. It's coming to g5, and the attack will be on. Black has to get queenside pressure before white starts expanding the space and using the bishop pair, but that's not the case in this game.
I was thinking about a wild idea. If we could bring up the analysis board as Gukesh contemplates, yet another challenging position. CD, knight takes e4 is a worthy attempt. And I do see that after queen e4, queen c4, queen a8, white wins the bishop a6. There's also this move knight c6 here, which is actually really tricky. And if white plays a random move, queen takes f1 and bishop a6 wins the queen back with interest. So
it's check on the king, and the black rook takes the queen next. There is also bishop a6 instead, and then knight c. It's bishop a6, rook moves, and then there's knight d2, tempo and defense.
But then you take, and then both rooks are hanging. So you can see the eval bar is not giving as overwhelming of an assessment as you would expect, being down a rook. Maybe queen c3 also to keep knight c6 alive. But anyways, Gukesh, he probably explored that angle. He decided against it, and he's gone for the more sort of pedestrian knight bd7.
Yeah. Well,
unpleasant.
I think Magnus will play bishop g5 as discussed. And what happens in these structures, Donnie, if we can highlight, the bishop will come to g5. And if white gets his way, you'll play e5 at some point, and that bishop on c4 can even slide back to d3, and the structure has now changed where white is opening up space toward the king side. And so he plays e5 right away, very similar, right? He's all in, knight g5. Here we go. This is going to be an attack.
He just says, I'm going to checkmate you because you don't have a dark squared bishop. And after h6, the knight's going to swing back to e4. You see that so often in these positions. Are you going to d6? Not necessarily. You're actually just normally going queen h5 and then sack on h6, Danny. And Gukesh is just so passive here.
Yeah, this is he doesn't even want the bishop to develop there. He's like knight g5 first, MBD, which is obviously South African for I'm going to checkmate you. NBD, here we go. And knight g5, queen h5 is coming. Don't even care about the c3 pawn. By the way, the clock has reached 0, which means this is officially the last game we will see in the 5-minute portion. After our quick break, of course, we will have 3-minute blitz. And will we see adoption? Will we see an epic comeback? Will we see Danya slip in more awkward puns than makes any of us comfortable? You got to watch and find out. You're going to have to stick around and see.
Always yes. Yep, always yes. I should point out, by the way, knight takes c3. There was queen to d3, forking mate threat, and the knight on c3. There's that knight going back to e4. Magnus is 3278. That is quite the blitz rating.
3278.
I'm just foaming at the mouth looking at that number. I mean,
Danya looking to go on a bender and grab that leaderboard.
Oh, yeah. I'm about 160 points away at the moment.
It is true. A good comment from Beijing Chess King. The point is, we're going to see a lot of instructive stuff, regardless of whether this is as close a match as a Roni and Andraken, let's say, that went literally the distance. We're probably not going to see that. Let's be honest. But we will see a lot of instructive chess, and this recoordination of White's pieces and White's forces with Tempe, e5, knight g5, knight e4. It's super instructive stuff.
Sorry, that's.
Do you want to say words, or you just want to make noises?
I kind of just want to make noises because the words have been spoken by the move f6. I like that move by Gukesh. I think that's what you have to do if you're black here, because otherwise, queen h5 and bishop h6 was. Basically over Red Rover, as Mufasa likes to say.
Mufasa. Say it again. Mufasa. Magnus. Ooh, makes me shiver.
This is flying over my head.
You've never seen Lion King?
I've never seen the movie in its entirety. I know who Mufasa is, and I know Simba. I know the storyline. I've never seen the entire movie. I'm not a big Disney guy, Mulan is the only movie I've seen multiple times. The only Disney movie.
God, what a random movie to have seen multiple times.
Loved Mulan.
It's good, but it's not top 5. All right, we're back. Bishop h6 is on the board. Bishop h6, Mufasa, Magnus. Here he comes. What is going on?
Queen g4.
Queen g4.
He just gives up the bishop and he says, I am picking up this juicy little morsel on e6.
And then d5 is hanging after that. The knight's under attack. If the knight moves, f6 is hanging. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's the thing when you're up by so much, and Magnus doesn't take these kinds of risks normally, but he knows he's got nothing to lose. He loses a game by accident like this. Big deal. My lead is still 5. And that's the terrifying thing about facing someone like Magnus in this situation. Queen g6, by the way, is a totally viable alternative here to queen takes e6.
No, I went with queen e6 because you pointed it out, but originally I was thinking queen g6 was the move, I promise. And now what do? I mean, queen takes h6 is coming next. In some positions, I can even just trade on d5 if removing that knight allows f6 to fall with Tempe, depending on the spot. This is no fun. By the way, rook g8. Let's show rook g8 on the board. We don't even need analysis, but just show rook g8. Oop. Eval bar. That's checkmate. Boop, boop, bam.
Let's get down to business.
Wah, wah.
To defeat the Huns. And Gukesh down to 10 seconds. This one's over.
This one's over.
Knight b8. Knight b8 might be the only way to connect the queen on the king side, but that drops f6. Oh, God. I would take, or take, go back, and maybe go f4, rook f3, which I think you pointed out. Yeah, Magnus free-moving it all.
He's not going to f4. The rook lift shallst commence. Put the rook on the elevator, slide it up, right, Bob's your uncle over there in the H file. Get it done, right? All right, here we go. I mean, it's happening. It's happening.
I think hip to hop uses the best word in such a situation. Relentless. That's totally what Magnus is. He is relentless, and he just keeps pummeling you. And he does not let up. It's human nature to let up in these situations, but if anything, Magnus just plays with more confidence.
Can we actually give a shout out that if Magnus wins this game, Smarter Chess was wrong. Smarter Chess predicted 7.5, 1.5. Take that, Matt. It'll be 8-1 if Magnus. And now what's up? Now what's up?
Really missed the mark, didn't we, Smarter Chess? I mean, knight takes e5, Gukesh, not going gentle. into that good knight, but rook d3 is going to come anyway, I think.
Yep.
And then it's mate.
Yep. Here
Just
comes rook
d3.
d3. Rook d3, knight f4. There's queen h6,
Queen
and then
h6,
rook g3.
rook g3.
I said it before you could highlight it. Take that. I said it first.
You got me. You got me there. Magnus, though, what's taking him so long? Rook d3 is the easiest move of the whole game.
Rook d3, knight f4, queen h6, king g8, rook g3, king f7, queen. There was queen h7 and bishop b5 check. Did he miss bishop b5 at the end? Maybe that was it.
But, I mean, rook d3, bishop c8 though. But then rook g3 is over. No, that's over.
Okay, it's over. Nope.
Whoa, jeez.
Well, 8-1 is the score, meaning Smarter Chess was wrong. First place is steak knives. Second place is you're fired, man. Just kidding, buddy. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the match scores.